Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Beatrice Hyppolite and this is your world.
You know, the internet is a worldwide platform, okay? Your child may be exposed to all kinds of predators, okay?
Exactly.
And people who don't have the best intentions. And before you know it, the child's inbox is blowing up with messages from all kinds of weirdos. And they may be having conversations with these people, and before you know it, your child winds up missing or something happened.
And
okay?
you know one thing people tend to do? Post in their profile picture, they use a child
Yes,
picture.
right.
While your child may believe that, oh, I'm engaging with a boy or a girl my age.
So that user is pretending to be an underage person. And
Yeah,
they're a pedophile in disguise.
while that person is a grown adult. So that's why,
Yes.
so when you say your child may go missing, so it's like while the child for the longest thought that he or she was having a conversation or
their peer.
interacting with the peers, and to become it was a grown adult.
All
so
along, right.
Too many sick people out there.
That's right.
I don't have any control on them. You don't have any control on them. But we can try to have control in our own household.
Absolutely. And as a parent, you should have your child's password. You should be able to go into your child's account and see the activity. Okay.
Some of them, will change it from time to time. You know it today,
Yes.
and the next day they change it. I believe that if I were, to be that mean parent, because if I were to lose you, I'll lose you regardless. But I will not lose you knowing that I didn't do whatever that I could to save you.
Right, right. To prevent something from happening.
So after I played all the cards and did whatever that I needed to do, I knew as a parent that I was there. I was on top of the game.
Yes.
When you become 19, 20 or what have you, whatever that you decide to do with your life, then it's gonna be your choice.
That's
But
right.
while you are
Under your
living
roof.
under my roof, so I know you're 18, you're 16, you're 17, you're 18, you think that you're grown, I respect that. And I want to treat you as such.
Yes.
But at the same token, I have to be able to make valuable decisions in your life, because whatever pain that you may be dealing down the road, that will be my pain as well.
Definitely. Well said, well said. Well, I would say also that I think that this topic is of particular importance because our youth, of course, are the future. And I am concerned with the long-term ramifications social media use will have on society, because it really hasn't been around that long, but it has been around long enough to make a significant impact on society. So I think the jury is still out in terms of what the real impact will be in terms of the long haul. And I'm concerned that it may be disastrous, because right now we're seeing so many antisocial behaviors arise from social media use. So many people that are lacking skills, they spend so much time on a device that they don't even know what it's like to interact with a person and have a healthy connection.
I had a child over, for a weekend, and of course, it's a boy. He came with his game,
Yes.
which I didn't have any problem for him to be on the game. But hey, I controlled the amount of time that he had to be on that game. Of course, he didn't like it, because at home,
Was there kicking and screaming?
so it's like at home, apparently he does things as he pleased.
And he was used to getting his way at home, right?
And of course, but
Yeah.
when he was with me, and I said, I respect the way that they do things at home.
But you set
but
limits.
this house have a set of rules that you have to go by. And since it was summertime, I let him stay up until he was 13 at that time. So, and I let you stay until 11, but I will not be sleeping. I'll be up, because no kids under my watch
We're going to be up past 11 o'clock.
gonna be up at 2 or at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning while I'm sleeping. I should be the last person to be sleeping, not the first one.
Okay.
And he was like, by 11, and I told him, so it was bedtime. It's like, Beatrice, can I get another hour? And the answer was no.
So what you did was a fine example of effective parenting.
So
you set limits.
no, you have to.
Yes.
And when you set limits, you have to stick with them.
Be consistent.
Not be flip-flopping.
Right.
Today, so it's like, oh, you can go to bed at this time. No. When I set up a set of time for bed,
Right.
so if I said 11, you should be in bed. If it is like school week, there is no 11.
Sure. Because
By
the
9 o'clock or 9:30, you should be in bed. So I was not expecting for him not to challenge me. By the time I went to take care of something else, he was still playing. I nicely entered the room and I asked for the game. And I said, I'm not gonna ask twice, because if I have to ask you twice, you probably will never see that game again. And he nicely unplugged the game and gave it to me. And
Good.
I went to my room with the game, placed it somewhere, and I said, okay. So it's like the next morning you wake up, where's the game? No, today it's time for you to read a chapter from this book. Because at the end of the day, there are many other things that we can get our kids involved.
Many other activities.
I understand financially, people may not have the same situation. Some people may have it much easier than others. So some people may be able to pay music lesson, piano lessons,
ballet lessons,
lesson, a swimming
Right.
course for your kids.
right?
But
Or even acting lessons, right?
Yes, but some people may not have the opportunity
resources.
or resources to do any of that. I got it. I understand it. But hey, you have the parks.
That's right. There's physical activity. There's physical activity, which is healthy.
Exactly. You
Yes.
have the parks. You have other things that you can do where you will not have to spend a dime. So engage your kids in other activities, because at the end of the day, social media may have some good impacts or qualities, but it can take a toll on your kids' mental health. And mental health, believe it or not, the minute that you were diagnosed with something, it's permanent.
Well, we're living in a time of mental health crisis. And I often tell people, I have a good buddy who a few years ago completed his master's degree. If you're in the mental health field, it is your time to shine. Okay, because so many people are suffering, so many people are dealing with all kinds of demons. And so the problem with social media is that it not only becomes addictive, but it gives people a place to go to where they don't have to deal with the world, and then they wind up going deeper in that darker place.
But it's a choice, that people make.
Yes.
It may be a bad choice, but it's a choice.
Yes.
And when our kids are making those choices, as parents, that's where our roles tend to be very important.
Absolutely.
Because we cannot be focusing on social media ourselves and not paying attention where attention should have been paying to.
I agree. Well, social media should never be a substitute for the genuine support and attention that a parent should give to a child. It should never be a substitute for that. And unfortunately, in many situations, it is a substitute. And because of that, children are having all kinds of negative outcomes.
And some kids, get involved into gang activities through social media.
Absolutely, absolutely, of course. They have friends that are involved in gangs, and they're posting all kind of pictures with their gang colors and things like that. And this becomes very attractive to them, especially in the absence of
Because the
support.
person who's selling to you gonna always tell you that it's cute, it's fun.
That's right.
And you don't know what you're missing while
That's
you're
right.
not getting involved.
Yeah.
Even at my age, I've seen people I never smoke. I'm not a smoker or a
Good for
drinker
you.
or what have you. And even at my age, you know how many times I find people who tell me, oh, you never smoke, you don't drink, oh, you don't know what you're missing. At my age.
Right. They see you as a square.
At my age,
Yes.
for people to try to influence me. Can you imagine for a child who is 13 or
Yes.
12 or 14 or 15?
That's funny. I had a similar experience recently where someone offered me drinks, and I politely declined. And this person said to me, you really like being in control, don't you?
And there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I like being in control, because one thing I don't want to do is be wasted and be in a situation where I'm at the mercy of others.
Exactly,
Right?
because if you're not in control, then you're gonna have the
who is?
system be in control of you.
There you
And I
go.
don't think that is something that you.
That's right. And as a big proponent of personal responsibility, okay, I know that at the end of the day, I'm ultimately responsible for my life and my well-being, not
As
someone
you
else.
should.
Absolutely.
As you should, Mr. Bonhomme.
Yes.
As you should. My next question, how can social media platform be designed to promote healthy online interaction and mitigate negative impacts on mental health?
Well, I think one thing that might help, and I think maybe this is something that Mark Zuckerberg and some of these people who've created these platforms might want to consider, is maybe they could set up separate social media platforms that are designed for young
kids?
people, okay? So this way they're not interacting with adults. They're not interfacing with adults. They're not seeing all this inappropriate content. So maybe they could set up, say, social media platforms that are more kid-friendly, right? That are targeted for children, that have Nickelodeon, animation, all kind of things that kids enjoy, and then have those websites, have those platforms devoted to those things. I think that might give some parents a little peace of mind.
Yes, I agree. So that will be ideal. To have a kids-friendly platform for kids only, to interact. However, in everything, there always gonna be some negative impact. So, because some kids nowadays, you just look at them and you're like,
you can tell, that they're a problem. Who raised them? Yeah, that's the first question to ask.
Who raised those kids?
That you ask them, yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
Many times that I had the privilege to ride the train, I always find a situation to shake my head.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's going on?
Unfortunately, and I've said this before, you have a lot of kids that are just simply not being raised. No one is really teaching them anything, and they're getting all their information from either social media or the streets.
And kids are getting themselves involved into dangerous situation. Recently, there was a video that went viral. It was a very sad video, and I probably will not wish that on anybody's kids. Apparently, it seemed the child went to a beauty salon, after she had her hair done, and she decided not to pay. And the hairstylist, to be a young person herself, took matter into her own hands. Thing went crazy. So while everybody was like bidding on the hairstylist, who was to be maybe 18 or 19.
How did the hairstylist react to that? Because that's theft.
Oh no, she took matter into her own hands.
Did she unalive the person?
She beat the girl. She cut the hair.
Oh, okay.
So it was like
she assaulted the customer.
For the video to went viral, and for the girl to be dealing with that humiliation was not pleasant. And I can only imagine the mental health challenges that child will have to deal with. So
the trauma.
Exactly.
Right? Yes.
But at the same talking, I want people to see things both ways. So while everybody was saying that the hairstylist was wrong, but what the girl did, she probably was 15 or 16, was wrong as well.
Of course.
And I think, that's where, us as parents have to step in to educate our kids on right and wrong.
Instilling morality.
Instilling morality, values into those kids to differentiate, between wrong and right. Because, for you to enter a place, to have your hair done, if you don't have the money to pay for the service,
don't do it.
You don't belong there.
Right, because you're wasting someone's time and labor.
No, you don't belong there.
Right.
I personally witnessed that once. I went to have my hair done. One girl came. She probably was 15 or 17. got into,
This is in one of the chairs next to you.
yeah, she was before me. I was waiting for her to finish to have my hair done next. So before I even know it, so she had a nice wig that day. The hairstylist did,
Good
really
job.
give her a wonderful job. And she stood up and told the hairstylist that she was gonna take the money from her mother, who was waiting outside for her. And the girl took off.
Yeah.
And the job was done for $200.
Right.
So why, dear, she stole from the hairstylist. So those are the things that we cannot allow our kids,
Right.
to go outside and do. We have to educate them.
Of
We
course.
have to sit them down and have a conversation, because at the end of the day, they will get hurt. And we don't want that
That's
to
right.
happen.
And then-
No kid should have, have to go through
Yes.
that painful situation.
And then you have videos that are circulating on the internet where kids are engaged in these kinds of behaviors and they make it look cool and trendy, right?
It's not cool. It's just
Yes.
for the likes.
Exactly.
They think that it's cool. No, it's not cool. Anything can happen to you.
Right. You might recall a few years back, especially on the heels of the pandemic, right? There were issues where ice cream makers had to recall their ice cream product because people were licking the ice cream. They were literally opening the lids and licking the ice cream, closing it and putting the ice cream back on the counter. Okay? And this was something that people were doing, and it was actually trending. It was going viral. And then you had a whole bunch of teenagers that were engaged in this behavior, and they all thought it was cute. But just imagine if you were in the grocery store and you happened to pick that pint of Haagen-Dazs. How would you feel if you knew that someone licked it before you opened it and consumed it?
Awful.
Right?
That's harmful. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had been trending for a while, and that was on social media. And just like you have all these weird challenges that they have on social media with ice buckets and people standing on crates and doing all these weird stunts and stuff. And a lot of these behaviors are very dangerous. Just because you see it trending, that doesn't mean that you have to engage in it. And I think that's an important conversation parents should have with their kids. If they see behavior that's trending, if it becomes cool to set yourself on fire, that doesn't mean you have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But unfortunately, so we have parents who, I think...
Sometimes the parents are more mature than their children.
Exactly. And sometimes you feel that
Yes.
those parents need intervention.
Yes.
And I remember one time, so I had a conversation with a school teacher, so who probably who have seen a lot. And many times, for kids who tend to misbehave when they call their parents, and by the time the parents come to the school, they're like, oh, shoot, that parent needs a parent herself or himself.
Yes. Well,
And
when I
I'm like,
taught in
so
the school system, I had encounters like that. I had a few parents that actually their children were more mature than them, and their children were embarrassed of them when they would come for parent-teacher conference.
I don't know who sent me that video, but I was not thrilled at all by watching it. It was like a mother whining or twerking, so sometimes I get the terms mixed up, in front of her child. And that child was like, I'm like, so that's what you do? What are you teaching your child on social media?
Yes.
And lately, so it seemed because everybody, so want to be, oh, nobody, you're not paying my bills. I'm the one paying my bills. No, nobody tells me what to do. But if what you are doing, it's inappropriate, if what you're doing can put your kids in danger,
Yes.
then somebody need to tell you.
That's right. And a lot of times there are many parents that aren't even aware that certain behaviors are inappropriate. They don't have the discernment to know that there are certain things you don't do around your child. So you have parents that are twerking in front of their toddler, okay, and they don't mind. They don't see anything wrong with that. Meanwhile, that toddler's one day going to grow up, okay, and they're going to look back and find that video and say, Mom, what were you doing?
Or even go and do worse. And
Right.
when they're doing it, now you may be doing it with clothes on, and the next time, they may be doing it without any clothes on. And so what you're gonna do? You're gonna try to redirect them or correct them? No. So they are just modeling your behaviors.
Yes, absolutely.
And sometimes as parents, we do so many crazy things where, the power of being a parent into your child,
The influence.
it's being taken away because you don't have anything to offer. So how the
Yes.
heck you gonna discipline me or tell me not to do this or not to do that while you are doing the same thing?
Right. It's like the blind leading the blind.
You know, so I don't know. It's society is.
Yes, we've been in a very bad way with social media, and it seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's sad to say it, but that's the reality. What are some effective strategies for promoting digital literacy and online safety among youth?
Well, I think schools could become involved in that regard. Schools could actually hold classes or workshops, or have maybe contractors come in and teach young people about social media and digital literacy. I think that's a role that education or educators can play in, definitely.
Okay, so how can we promote a culture of digital wellness responsibility among youth?
Well, I think one thing we can do is create standards, okay? Create standards in terms of how much social media time we use, how much time we spend online, putting controls on that, being mindful of content, because everything that you interact with, everything you interface with impacts your mental health in some way. And that's why I say it's very important that you be mindful of what you expose your mind to. Some things are just not healthy for you. So I think putting controls on how much time you spend on social media, as well as being mindful of content, just having certain standards in place so that when you do utilize social media, that it's healthier.
Or engaging yourself in meaningful activities.
Absolutely, particularly activities that enrich, right? Where you can learn. Like, so let's say you can go to a social media website where they talk about learning new languages, or any other new skill. All these things are enriching, okay? As opposed to you just wasting time looking for things that just make you laugh or stimulate you, in some way. Okay, so we're talking about things that parents can do to make the social media experience healthier for their children. Having open conversations, open dialogue, engaging in honest and open discussions about social media use, setting boundaries, establish screen-free zones and times such as meals on or before bedtime, monitor usage, track and limit social media use, and encourage a healthy balance between online and offline activities. And of course, modeling healthy behavior, demonstrate responsible social media use and online behavior. Definitely, these are some really good, effective ways of making the social media experience healthier for young people.
And be present.
Yes.
That's very important as parents, caretaker or caregivers. Be present.
Yes. And
because being a parent is not a part-time job. It's a full-time job.
It sure is.
And you don't have the luxury to pick and choose.
Yes.
Because having a child, taking care of a child, being the parent of a child, it's a very, very, very hard and difficult responsibility. But at the end of the day, it's a responsibility that we decide to take upon.
There we go.
So those kids, they didn't ask to be brought into the world. We made a decision to bring them.
That's right.
But if we made a decision to bring them into the world, we should make ourselves available.
Yes.
Full-time, 24/7, to be in their lives.
And I think what's really important also is that parents instill a strong sense of confidence in their children, okay? Because if your child is very confident, your child does not, won't flinch at online bullying or cyberbullying, okay? Your child will just know to turn off the computer and just find something constructive to do. Maybe go outside and play, or go and interact in the real world, okay? So it's really important that parents instill a very strong sense of confidence and self-esteem.
And allow other people to be part of your kid's life.
Yes.
Because sometimes, as parents, having the everything to take care of, you may miss some cues. But as your friend or a sister,
Yes, having that extra pair of eyes, right?
Yeah. So you know how it used to be back in the days.
Yes, we called it the village.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So create that village around your child. Right. Because I may see something and I'm like, oh, I don't like that, or something that I may question, but I can bring it. Allow me to bring it to your attention. And when I bring it to your attention, then find a way to have a decent conversation with your child.
Right. Your child should have a solid offline community.
Exactly. Yes. Very important. And when you sit down with your child, you know, I think it's something that parents should have done on a regular, even every week or every other week or monthly, you know. Yes. Have a conversation, you know, with your kids.
Check in with your child. Check in.
Exactly. So, and when you do that, create a good environment to do it.
Agreed.
You know, if they love McDonald's, take them there. Right. Wherever, whichever place that they love to go to eat.
Sure. Give them that safe space.
Take them there. And you know that you can start a conversation and be open and try not to judge. Because as kids, we don't want to be judged.
Of course.
And even if it is by our own parents. So, and from there, so you will know if there is anything bothering them.
That's right.
If, you know, they had any bad intention of hurting themselves or somebody else, be proactive.
Sure.
You know, into your kid's life.
Because the key is to foster healthy communication.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, that's what we want to do.
Okay, on that note, I'll let everybody go. It was with you, Dr. Beatrice Hyppolite, with your world.